My name is David Lairmore. I'm one of the counselors from Counseling and Psychological Services. I've created another video today to bring helpful information to students interested in learning about their well-being and their academic success. A common area of struggle that I hear about from undergraduate and graduate students that can impede academic success is called imposter syndrome. Many of you may have experienced this and did not exactly have a name for it. The term imposter syndrome was created in the 1970s by psychologists Suzanne Imes and Pauline Rose Clance. It is a psychological term referring to a pattern of behavior where people doubt their accomplishments and have a persistent, often internalized fear of being exposed as a fraud. Imposter syndrome can, in turn, feel like self-doubt, inadequacy, and having a lack of belonging. While for some people imposter syndrome can fuel feelings of motivation to achieve, this usually comes at the cost in the form of constant anxiety. You might over-prepare or work much harder than necessary to make sure that nobody finds out you are a fraud. Unfortunately, it can be quite common for students. Though the imposter phenomenon isn't an official diagnosis, psychologists and others acknowledge that it is a very real and specific form of intellectual self-doubt. The problem with imposter syndrome is that the experience of doing well at something does nothing to change your beliefs. Even though you might sail through a performance or have lunch with your coworkers, the thought that can still nag in your head, what gives me the right to be here? The more you accomplish, the more you just feel like a fraud. It's as though you can't internalize your experience of success. So where does imposter syndrome come from, and what can we do to overcome it? We know that certain factors can contribute to more general experience of imposter syndrome. For example, you might come from a family that highly valued achievement, or had parents who flipped back and forth between offering praise and being critical. We also know that entering a new role can trigger imposter syndrome. For example, starting college or university might leave you feeling as though you don't belong or you're not capable. Additionally, researchers believe imposter syndrome hits minority groups harder, as a lack of representation can make minorities feel like outsiders, and discrimination creates even more stress and anxiety when coupled with imposter syndrome, according to Kevin Coakley, a professor of educational psychology and African studies at the University of Texas at Austin. In his research, Dr. Coakley found that imposter syndrome can augment discrimination some minority groups may already feel, which can add to their stress. Now let me talk about some ways that we can work towards overcoming imposter syndrome. Talk to your mentors. A mentor is especially helpful for those dealing with imposter syndrome because they can serve as a professional anchor. Your mentor will ideally have experiences similar to your own and be willing to share advice on how to deal with those experiences. Recognize your expertise. You don't always have to look to those who are more experienced for help. Tutoring or working with younger students, for instance, can help you realize how far you've come and how much knowledge you have to impart. Assess your abilities. If you have long-held beliefs that you're incompetent in social and performance situations, make a realistic assessment of your abilities. Write down your accomplishments and what you're good at. That can help you recognize what you're doing well at and where there's legitimate room for improvement. Take baby steps. Don't focus on doing things perfectly, but rather do things reasonably well and reward yourself for taking action. For example, in a group conversation, offer an opinion or share a story about yourself. Question your thinking. As you start to assess your abilities and take baby steps, question whether your thoughts are rational. Does it make sense that you are a fraud, given everything that you know? And finally, talk to someone who can help. If after trying these coping strategies, imposter syndrome still feels overwhelming, consider individual or group therapy. Talking to a mental health professional can give you tools to help you break the cycle of imposter thinking. For students, you can call us at CPS 740-593-1616 and inquire about our services. I hope you found all this information helpful. Thank you always for watching and listening. Please continue to be on the lookout for more helpful videos from CPS. Take care and stay well. Goodbye. Follow us on Twitter at Ohio_counseling.